Did you show me?
What's up, everybody? My cat is over there literally, by definition, chasing her tail like that. She's an idiot. She's an idiot. I tell you, she's the prettiest kitty in the whole wide world, but she's nuts. And I keep feeding the birds. I've said this before, and you guys are gonna laugh. I keep feeding the birds closer and closer to the sliding glass door because it just torments her all day long. And she sits there like this, looking out the window, and it's got to look like Batman looking through the window. And she makes these noises that sounds like she's possessed by, the devil himself inside her. She's like, rah, 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 and she's looking at these birds, these beautiful little birds with really horrible intentions in her heart. And I think that the psychosis has snapped her because, like, just down there a second ago, she's just sitting by herself in the middle of the living room floor. And all of a sudden she goes berserk and starts freaking chasing her own tail. I've had days where I felt like I was chasing my own tail, but I don't know if I was ever doing it literally. She was literal. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Oh, Don Terry, thank you. Yeah, it took, like everything, we're doing a year's worth of work in 2 months. My partner Chuck, we're you guys are going to be patient. We have plenty of time. I have every faith and confidence that it's going to happen tomorrow. But if it doesn't happen tomorrow, it's going to happen on Thursday. We're waiting on lawyers, and they take forever. And there's like one thing that has to be, checked off, and then we're full bore ready to go. Like I say, normally we would have had a year to plan this. We've done it in 2 months. What's up, everybody? And I figured we'd get in now before, even though, and I know the guys that aren't Syracuse basketball fans are going to cringe at me, but for the next couple minutes, this, the game's out at 7. I think that said they're playing Georgia Tech. I mean, it would be redundant to say that we need every win we can get. I don't think it's enough unless we win the ACC tournament to even get in the NCAA again. And, it's Syracuse fans. I grew up my whole life. We never missed an NCAA for years and years and years and years and years. Never missed it. And maybe we all took it for granted. I don't know. Things have changed. The landscape of college sports have changed. We went to the ACC where we didn't belong. After leaving the Big East, and we were always in the top 2 or 3 every year in the Big East. And that's the Big East through all those great years of teams like St. John's back in the 80s, and Georgetown certainly almost throughout, though they've fallen on quite hard times down in Georgetown, which I can't feel bad for because, as a Syracuse fan, there is still no more worse enemy, nightmare team that you love to hate as the Georgetown Hoyas. I mean, I remember Pearl coming down under the basket and planting his right foot and driving that right cross right into the solar plexus of Patrick Ewing, doubled him right over. Pearl got all of him. Pow! Like that. And Ewing, man, he doubled over. And that other kid, Michael Graham from Georgetown, he was the enforcer. Christ, that kid was more a hockey player than he was a basketball player. Georgetown had guys, including right up to the coach, right up to Thompson. Man, they were, I don't know about dirty, but boy, they were the aggressor, and they pressed their luck every time, man. Nobody liked Georgetown. The ticker's going up. We got tons of people in here already. Okay, volume's up, volume's good. Yes, I figured we'd chat before we got into the SU game tonight. Mark, my web designer, is I'm hopefully eating dinner with his family. He was cooking a few minutes ago when we were going back and forth about getting these last minute things done on the website and being ready to start selling tickets tomorrow. And and I love the excitement because I've got my phone has blown up today. As soon as I put that picture of the logo up, and that logo is cool. My partner Chuck is the one that we kept going. Him and I, Chuck's the best man. He is my friend. I mean, we've known each other for a while, but we've really known each other now for the last year, not even. Um, Him and I are, you meet people in your life that you're just like this with, and I've had a lot of great buddies in my lifetime. I've been blessed, some of my very best friends. And for a time, all of those guys and me, we were like that. You were strong. And listen, two are stronger than one. Um, and him and I kicked around. He's very creative and he makes knives and all kinds of crazy stuff, man. His brain is always constantly going, which is so is mine. And we work very well together. And we were going back and forth on a logo design. And I go, it's gotta be awesome. It's gotta tell you what we're trying to say. Boom. And that was what is Walleye Fest? It is a walleye, and it's where it is on our lake, Oneida Lake. And we simplified it a little bit, but that's going to be the design that's on the t-shirt. Uh, you know, picture the same circle, but it's going to be bigger. With that walleye, and I've got a mock-up of it that'll be up on the website. But it looks cool as a t-shirt. It's going to be awesome, and I'm excited, and everybody loved it. Because that was not the first design, and I sent out the first design to a couple of my guys, and my derby committee guys, and it was like, yeah, it's okay, and it was okay. It wasn't great, and this one we got dialed in, and I love it. I love it. And you want to know one of the funny things of the difference in the designs? The walleye had to be a little meaner looking, and everybody, you guys all know. I mean, like a pike, even pickerel. Even though people don't like pickerel, and the pickerel are cool. Don't be a snob. But like those kind of fish, any fish that you can't lip or worry about sticking your finger in their mouth, is different. And those walleyes, man, they're street, they're sleek, and they're not like a pike is a long tube with teeth, but a walleye is different. A walleye's got shape and curves, and he's got that big flared fin, that dorsal on top, and his head is very triangular like this, and that mouth, and it's a mouth like in the teeth. And so one of the design changes that we had to do better was make that mouth have more teeth and more prominently seen teeth, because that's the most, in my opinion, and this is my opinion, and that's my favorite part about the walleye, is how cool they look in those teeth. You're like, I don't know how to describe it, because it's not like a dog, or a wolf or anything like that. It kind of wolfy maybe, but they're just, and so you don't want your walleye to be do. You want to be kind of, maybe not, come on, let's go, but he's got to be like, F around and find out. Go ahead. See what happens. So I think we accomplished that. And people think, logo's not that big a deal. Logo's a huge deal. In my humble opinion, a logo is a huge deal. It's visual. It's more important than the name. A catchy logo that you remember. You'll remember the name after that. And what's going to be so awesome? just personally, is after the event's over, like I'm going to see those shirts everywhere. I mean, there's going to be thousands of people that are going to get these shirts for the Fish and the Derby. I mean, we're talking about 5,000 shirts alone. And everywhere I go, I'm going to see them and go, man, and you get that warm feeling like, oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. We're a big family, whether whether you like it or not, you're stuck with me. Yeah, come on, let's go. I was watching road rage videos earlier today on YouTube. This freaking punk kid, the car that's got the camera in it, the dash cam, is going this way in traffic. This punk kid pulls out of it wasn't even a side road, it was like a parking lot. Just pulls right out, and the dash cam shows the kid never looked nothing. Boom, out he comes. Dude lays on the horn. Kid opens the door, looks out the back window, goes, "What? What?" And then goes to close it, and then whips it back open again and goes, "What?" And jumps out and comes running at the guy. And I'm like, not only like what would push someone to that point anyway? And then to be pushed to that point when you're 100% wrong, in the wrong by letter of the law, by the rules of the road, by the traffic code, the absolute in the wrong, and you're the one that's going to go beat somebody up. I'm like, what? It's insane. That's Captain Insano. I don't even know who that is. All right, let's see who's here. There's a pile of people here. Let me see who's here. My favorite part of the day. This is my favorite part of the show, was going through all this. Don Terry, Rumble Seat, Carl Kapfer, great logo. Thank you, Carl. How is the start of the show feeling? I'm feeling great. I'm feeling perfect. Thank you. 100%. Gary Walters. Evening, brother. Love the logo. Thank you, Aaron. Rumble Seat logo is great. John Burrows. Oh, I like afternoon shows. I'm down here where we salt our margaritas, not our roads. John Burrows. That's a good one, buddy. That was funny. It was funny. Normally you're only funny looking. Let's see. David Gould. Hello, sir. Signed up today. Let's go Orange. Yeah, let's go Orange, man. I'd love this. I'm always optimistic. I am forever naively optimistic that a miracle is a moment away from happening, and we could go on an incredible run, and shock the world. And man, I would love that. Syracuse strong. I don't know. And I think these kids have all the talent in the world. All the talent in the world. I just don't think they've got it here yet to believe that they can even do it. That's my 2 cents. You can just see it in them. Matt and family, how's everyone? Everyone's great. John Doe, Scott Duranda. Aaron Lussier, I was going to SU when they won the championship, 20 years ago? Yeah, 20 year anniversary. Kevin Stone, hello. How we doing, Sarge? Jim Wild Brookies, like your endless positive energy. What's the alternative? Seriously, what's the alternative to positivity? So I want to believe in positive outcomes and positive things because it makes me feel good. My other option is to believe in negative. And then I feel negative, and then everything around me is negative, and everything I touch is negative. And then it sucks even worse for me because everything's negative and I'm the one doing it. So quite honestly, and I'm not saying that I've always been this way in life. I'm saying that I lived a long time under a rock of sorts. And when I finally awakened and came out from underneath it and realized some things and changed how I believed and what I believed in and what I thought, and if there were two outcomes, I stopped automatically believing the negative one before the positive one. That didn't make sense to me. It wasn't logical, so I stopped doing it. And that alone, you talk about the awakening angler and all whatever that means. Like that's that moment of awakening when you're like, why do I do that? Why do I believe the negative before the positive? Why? Why am I predisposed, like most human beings, to believe negative bullshit as opposed to something positive and uplifting? So I stopped. I finally just said, I don't know why. I can't make sense of it, logical sense of it. I can't make sense of it. So I'm going to stop doing it. So that all stemmed from Go SU. And 20 years ago, they won the championship. Yeah, and I'm forever hopeful that can change around in a moment's notice because I believe that power of positive collective thinking. Look at all of us here. Look at every one of us here. There's a reason. There's a reason. So, and the positive is that wheel starts spinning around, just like in the whirlpool effect. In the above ground pool when you were kids and everybody was going the same direction, you could put your feet up and that current would still spin you right around, as long as there were still people coming in and that energy was still flowing around. We are all that positive energy flowing around and around and around. And we just keep attracting it. And even when something negative does come into our circle, it either assimilates or it gets spit out. And the assimilation in this situation is positivity and not bitching and pissing and moaning at everybody for no reason. It's positive. We talk about good things. We talk about positive things. We talk about fishing in ways that isn't life or death, or I know more than you do, and you can't come to my spot, and you don't know, and only I know, and I know how to do everything, and you don't. And no. Because that doesn't do a damn bit of good for any single one of us. Nobody. The person doing it, the person receiving it, the innocent bystander listening to it, it doesn't. It doesn't. And so if it does us no good, it serves us no purpose, and it ultimately hurts us, then why would we continue to do it? And all logical people have no choice but to go, yeah, I don't know. I should stop doing that because it doesn't make sense. So that was all because somebody said, go SU, go SU, go Qs. Sarge, endless positive energy. What's up, Don Birdie and Jenna? Stephen Eddy, Keith Horns. What's up, buddy? Don't let that thing stall. So, okay. So everybody say hi to my buddy Keith. Keith and I have been friends for 25 years, let's say. It's probably pushing 30. Keith and one of his close friends, mine too, but at the time when we didn't know each other, Keith and one of his good close friends, Steve Brody, used to come up and they started going with me on the drift boat on the Salmon River. And God, we were all young. I was in my early 20s, and my buddy Mo, Captain Mo Neal, Mojo Guide Service, had we were doing a 2-boat trip that day. It was Keith and Steve, and it would have been Tommy and Guppy. Guppy? Yeah, Guppy. And Mo had this old Chevy pickup truck and had a cap on the back of it. It was brown. It was two-tone. It was brown and tan. And it's got the cap on the back of it. And if anybody on here, and some people here do know Mo, and he might even be watching it. The Mo is MacGyver, who went to the Air Force, and Mo could fix or jury rig anything. If I was going to be dropped into the bush with somebody, he would be the one. Like he was that guy. Anyway, this old Chevy was on its last leg, and it would stall as soon as you came to a stop. It would stall, not even put it in gear, and we're all just blistering hungover, probably still intoxicated from the night before, at the Altmar Hotel, and Mo is just in rare form. It's freezing cold now. In the back of Mo's cab of the truck, underneath the cap, I mean, if he had 50 rods, if he had one, he had 50, and they're just in a wad up in the nose. And he's trying to pull like 3 specific ones out of the pile, and everything's coming together, and he's pissed, and he's just like, son of a, and the truck starts to stall. So he yells at Guppy at the top of his lungs. This is his client who's paying him for the day. He screams at him and says, get in the truck and don't let it stall or I'll kill you. And he's in the back of the truck like this with the rods trying to pull him out. And my God, and Keith and Steve and I are on the ground rolling. I'm laughing so hard. And Guppy gets in the seat. He's scared to death. He's in the driver's seat. He's got this old Chevy pinned right to the floor. It's like, wow! And there's fucking black smoke coming out the back of it. And we're on the ground dying laughing. This is at the ramp in Altmar, in the pitch dark, whatever morning it was. Just dying laughing. I've never seen anything like it in my life. I don't even remember how the story ended. It didn't blow up, and I know we went fishing that day. And Keith and I tell that story in the days of old on the Salmon River when I was younger. Boy, we had some fun. God, I don't know how we survived some days, honestly. Steve and Eddie, 5 inches of snow here and light rain. Yeah, everything went to rain here now too. Started early. What did I miss, Mike Urema? Nothing. We were just shooting the breeze about the logo. Thanks, Mike. 2-3 defense needs to change. Yeah, the zone. I think the writing's on the wall for Boeheim. How much? It's going the wrong direction. I mean, I love the guy. He's a Hall of Famer, and everybody's gonna say, oh, he deserves to go out on his own terms. But like, at what point? I mean, boy, we're 500. We're gonna miss the tournament for the second year in a row. I don't know. Can't seem to finish above 500 in middle of the pack in the ACC since we've been there. We've never really strongly contended. It's crazy. George Parsons, Nat Lussey. Mark Webb, there we go, buddy. What happens in Altmar stays in Altmar. You ain't kidding. 4,000 walleyes checked in between 15 and 29 inches. My money is on it's going to be a close one. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Jim G, good evening. Yeah, Bob, Rumble Seed, I think it's going to be too. I think, obviously, you get that many more people out there, and it's just law of averages. More fish will be caught, and that increases the odds that bigger fish will be caught. I wish more than anything, Chris Bryan, what's up, buddy? I wish more than anything that the Lions Club had better records. I have every piece of information that the Lions Club had according to them. And I even offered to go to the other clubs because in some years it was Cicero or Mattydale or Chittenango. I don't know. I think there was multiple to go see if they had paper records. Like, I would love to go see all of the old, leaderboards to see the winning fish over the years. And from that going forward, we're going to have great records. And the website will be continuous and there'll be historical, every year on there and pictures and all that stuff in one place for once finally. And because the Lions Club, they had kind of they were limited. And I'm not talking bad about it in any way. They had a website. It was just limited. That's all. We're blessed. Everybody give Mark Webb a big hand. He's doing unbelievable work behind the scenes. And we wouldn't be here without him. But he's a professional web designer. Like that's what he does, and that's why it's amazing. So yeah, with that many people involved and all that stuff, there's going to be big fish caught. I mean, I'm going to make the prediction. Let's see. I think listen. Let's do this for fun. Let's pick a number. I think it's going to take 28 inches. Like that's the over under. What's it going to take to win the Derby? And I think 28-inch even is the number. That's where I'm going to set it. And then you pick over or under. And quite honestly, I think I'm in the over category. I think it's going to be somewhere in the high 28s. Can we break 29? Man. And to think, and listen, anything's possible. Anything's possible. There's got to be 30s in this lake. There's got to be. We had this conversation last night. It's just fascinating. It's still rumbling around in my head. I really think that there's fish of that caliber out there, and the more chances in the pool to find them, the better the odds are of it happening. I think that would be incredible. I missed the whole group here in the middle, I think.
What was the one you missed last night? You could probably answer that.
I don't remember, do you?
Shoot. No. Excuse me.
Bless you. Yeah, Stephen Eddy just said, turn to positive thoughts instead of thinking what can go wrong. Right.
Rourke. His last name was Rourke.
Like Mr. Rourke from Fantasy Island?
Yeah.
The plane. Come now, tattoo. Oh, look at it. Look at it. Here we go. You guys are already coming. Mike Urema is taking the under, folks. He's taking the under. Oh, Mike, I don't know. Sounds like free blade baits for everybody if you lose. I don't know. I'm just saying that's what I heard. A bird say. Don Terry's even lower than that, 26 plus. Birdie, come on, Don. Under 25 and a half. I don't.
Just be a negative, Nancy.
Don Birdie, 25 and a half. Aaron Lussier. So I'm with you at 28 and 3/4, 28 and a half.
French.
Rumble seat, 14.75. Shut up, Bob. And I say that lovingly. I never say that word. Oh.
Say it to me.
I can't hear you. My wife's over here in the peanut gallery. See, but I have my earbuds in, so she can't. Nobody can hear her.
You can still hear me.
Oh. Mike Urema, you have a better chance of catching a giant talking M&M candy than a 30-inch in Oneida. Listen, okay, now, better chance or impossible? Aha. I don't think it's impossible. How could we could not possibly say it's impossible. So that means it's possible. Aha. So at least we're in the, so you're saying there's a chance. What bait fish are they after more in the spring? Perch. In this lake, perch. What's their favorite food? Perch. What do they eat the most of? Perch. What do they like on Valentine's Day? They give their girlfriends? Perch. 4th of July, they have fireworks that look like perch. Perch. Jim G, so I joined late. The site will be up tomorrow to buy tickets. I hope so. We're still shooting for that. It's not ready to go yet, but that's what we're hoping for. Jim G, 27 under. Chris Bryan, 27 3/4. You're planning to have a Derby article in the Conservation Magazine or other publications? Yes, I didn't think about the conservationist, but that's a great idea, Sarge. Man, you don't make Command Sergeant Major for nothing, right? Carl Capper, that's a great idea. I just looked at one. I got my new, I don't know, does anybody out there get this magazine? It's excellent. I have a subscription now to it. My wife gets me a subscription every year for Christmas. I get that and In Fisherman. I have the new In Fisherman here today, and love this magazine. And I spent the other night watching Angling Edge, the Linders program now, 3 or 4 new episodes that I hadn't seen before. And I forgot why I got off on that topic. I love those guys. They're the best. They're the best.
Something about In Fisherman magazine.
Yeah, I know. I got sidetracked. Chris Bryan, going to see in the Night of Monster with all the anglers coming to show up. I think so. I just think the law of averages dictates that if it's going to happen, it's going to be this year. And that would be huge. Although, what would be more impressive, catching that 30-inch walleye or a giant talking M&M candy? I mean, I guess really it would be more impressive to catch the candy. Yeah, Courtney brings up a good point. Only if it's a peanut M&M candy. I'm not crazy about the regular M&Ms. They're not bad, but they're not peanuts. Good one, Mike. Don't encourage him, George. I'm shooting the moon, going with 30 and a half. That would be Mark. I love your optimism, buddy. You have no idea what you've gotten into. I told Courtney tonight, I said, I'm going to take good care of Mark. I said, but he's not allowed to leave. It's like, it's like the Yellowstone. All right. You're getting branded and that means forever. You can't leave. Sorry. I don't need to tell you. I'll make it the best I possibly can. I definitely think there's a 30-inch in there. Will we get to see it? That's questionable. Listen, I agree. No, it's never been seen before, so that just means that we're, every single time you jig, you're one good bite away from being immortal, because you're going to be the first. Who's the first person to catch a 30-incher in a night of lake? Wow, that would immediately get you into the New York State Fishing Hall of Fame immediately. So you're saying perch? Yeah, they like perch. If Paul Messina opened up a pizza place underwater in a night of lake, it would be a Percha Regionale. See how I did that? I don't even know if Paul's watching, but he'll laugh at that. I got a guide from the Chameau area that is interested in coming down and offering a charter. I can't remember the directions, so do I have them contact you to get on the list? Yes, Chris. Yes, you do. Give them my information, have them get a hold of me. But we're going to have the page up and going where businesses, restaurants, charters, lodging can go on and register, just like everybody did when they registered for the mailing list. They can go on and register for their link in whatever page they sign up for. So that way we can get everybody. It's free advertising. I want everybody to advertise on those pages as they can. So when my customer, you guys, go to the website, everything is right there that you could possibly need or want, especially if you're coming from out of town, and we're going to have a lot of out of town anglers, that we're going to welcome with open arms. You know what it's like around here when the Elite Series used to come to town, and even when the Opens come, there's an excitement, there's a buzz around the area because you see all these cool boats and everything. Imagine when we have 5,000 anglers coming into town, that's going to be awesome to see that. I mean, it's going to be like Woodstock, except with fishing. It's going to be like fish stock. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome for everybody involved. M&M, 100%, yeah. Don't take me to the Wyoming train station. No, Mark. I told you, Mark, that would be getting out of it easy. You know, we got a lot of stuff to do, baby. A lot. You having a Goby Award for Mr. Pickleball? Don Birdie, I don't want there to be back, like private jokes. So I try to share them all with everybody. So if you might have saw the video last fall. I went up to the St. Lawrence River jigging walleyes at night with Don Birdie and John Burroughs, and we were in John's boat. And during the daytime, I had tied a bunch of big jigs, and Don and I ended up catching all three of our fish on the big hair jigs that I tied. But earlier in the day, John, all of us, I think, but John and I were, I was trying to fish a blade in that big current, and John was fishing a jig and wrap, and he was catching gobies like this, 1 and 2 at a time on both hooks on the jig and wrap. And he was on fire, and he declared himself the goby champion. So Birdie is trying to get a goby award for Mr. Burroughs, so he's guaranteed a win. The only other category I would think would possibly be Mr. Clean lookalike. But that's only
I was thinking how to hold a flashlight.
John, point the flashlight over there. All right.
You got an award.
Yeah. During the spring after ice out, baby and yellow, yearling yellow perch are a major prey for an Idle Lake walleyes. This is Carl Kapfer. Other forage species, emerald shiners, round gobies, of course, gizzard shad late summer and fall. They have other food sources out there, tons of crayfish, but perch is their primary diet, which always makes you wonder. It's funny because really, in any lure you use, you could do nothing but perch, and I would think you would probably catch on average, if you measured it all out, the same amount you would on all the other myriad of colors that we have in our boxes, because copper perch, Chester copper pot, that's a copper perch pattern. That's when I first met Mike, like that's Mike's favorite pattern, and why not? Jig and wraps and all that stuff. Everybody makes a perch pattern. I just saw a video on that new Rapala jigging shadow wrap. That's a different profile and a little slower fall, a little lighter too. That looked pretty cool. I'm looking to try that. And another thing I saw a lot of recently that I haven't tried and it's in my head now is those VMC bladed trebles. So anything. The number one forage bait in this lake is the purple and black jig. After one bite, they end up in the bucket. Yeah. More of a slow presentation early spring. Well, I mean, that goes according to water temperatures, but honestly, once you're above 45, and some of my best fishing this year now, it's different though. Fall cold water and spring cold water are two different animals. Fall cold water, yes, I slow down for them, but those fish are feeding just as heavily right down to the bottom of the scale in the 30s. And I caught them right up until the last day I fished, in fairly same spots, same presentations, just slower, but not a ton slower. But those fish are still hard feeding, knowing that the sparsity of winter is coming. And those fish in the spring are coming out from underneath that ice and up into the shallows, because that's where the warmest water is early. So that's where the bait is. And so that's where they are. And it's just that simple. There's no other reason. The shallows react quicker to everything. They freeze first and they thaw first because they're so shallow. So that water really heats up and cools down the fastest right there, which makes, when it warms up, it brings life in there. And the bugs and the aquatic bring the bigger, the minnows, and then the bigger minnows, and then here comes the stuff that wants to eat those minnows. And that's, you could be, the perch are moved already in. I'm sure these perch are under the ice in skinnier water than you might expect. You could probably catch them in 3-4 foot of water. If you found them, but George Parsons says, I-1 baits are the best. I use them in PA and they catch them here too. They catch them all. All right, 40 minutes, 6:40. Game time, 20 minutes. If anybody's got any more Walleye Fest questions, we kind of went around and around today, but we covered a lot of great stuff. I love sitting and chatting with you guys, man. It makes my day every day. So I appreciate it. Thanks everybody for showing up. Ton of people here again tonight. A lot of great comments. I encourage everybody to, if they're watching live, to come in and at least say hello. Jump right into the deep end. The water's fine. Plenty of room at the table. Rumble seat. Where is the link? The link to what? Hey, Dax, nice to have you tune in. Yeah, we're just finishing up, but you can go back and rewatch. The link to the mailing list, maybe. He'll let me know. All right. Have a great evening, everybody. Go SU. Keep your tip up. Thank you.